G'day race fans. Well, after 20 years at the helm, 124 race wins, 6 constructors titles, a total of 14 championships, the man himself, Christian Horner, has finally been let go by Red Bull with immediate effect. Now that means Lawrence Meckis will step up into Christian's role and Alan Permain will take over at Racing Bulls. Gee, man, we kind of knew it was coming. What do you make of it?
Yeah, look, no surprises. I always thought Christian Horner's job was extremely vulnerable. It's just the timeline that throws me off a little bit. I just thought perhaps at the end of the year, worst case, coming up into the summer break. Extremely interesting because obviously with the rumors around Max Verstappen's contract as well. So that all could be related. And perhaps if it is, we may even see some more news coming out in the not too distant future about Max Verstappen and whether he stays or goes.
Yeah, do you think that it was linked with the contract saga? I mean, look, let's go back. Red Bull has been an absolute shit show since, well, let's say the beginning of last year with the whole Christian Horner texting scandal, the inappropriate behavior. Then we go into the contract saga with Checo, re-signing him on a decent sized deal and then getting rid of him, replacing him for Lawson, giving Lawson 2 races and then sacking him, bringing in Yuki, and Yuki hasn't worked. So not only that, you lose Adrian Newey to Aston Martin, Jonathan Wheatley to Kick Sauber. At the moment, there's been no real reason given to why he's been sacked. But from the outside, you know, they have been on a decline since the beginning of last year.
Yeah, we have mentioned, I think maybe in the last video that we did regarding Red Bull's downward decline, and that we thought that they were getting pretty close to the bottom. One thing I think we did say was that if Red Bull was unable to retain Max Verstappen going forward, we thought that was going to be the final blow. And so one theory that we spoke about off camera was, well, maybe this was the final straw. The owners have basically gone, well, he's lost control of the team because we've lost so many assets in the last 18 months. We've just lost our prime asset, potentially, if Max has gone. So maybe that was the final straw for Horner. On the flip side, Jos Verstappen and Christian Horner had been having some run-ins, allegedly, particularly at the start of the year. Maybe it was an ultimatum from the Verstappen camp that you choose either Christian or you choose me. So maybe it highlights that Max is staying put and maybe the Verstappen camp is getting what they want. But then it begs the question, what do you think happens with Helmut Marko?
This is the thing. We haven't heard anything about Helmut, but we kind of thought that there was going to be, if they couldn't keep a hold of Max, there was going to be a big change at the top. So not just Christian, Helmut as well. For now, as far as we know, Helmut is going to stay put. And look, now Christian's gone. I think we might see him stay a little bit longer because I think you've said to me that you thought that some of the things that Helmut has said that he possibly going to walk away at the end of this year. So now,
well, yeah, at least retire. I mean, he's definitely getting up there.
Yeah, but I mean, we know there's been a power struggle between both of them. So if that's the case and your arch nemesis is no longer there and you've fought so hard to get the control, well, bro, you've got control now.
It's interesting that you talk about the control side because there are always power struggles within corporations, particularly in high-performance Formula One teams. Now, the rumors were that the Austrian side under Matisic, they felt that, if the rumors are true, felt that Christian Horner had essentially too much power within the team. So it's going to be interesting, the power dynamics at play now, because I wonder if we see a different Helmut Marko going forward and how his relationship will develop with Meckis. I still am under the impression that Helmut Marko will step aside at the end of the year to retire. And maybe we do get Sebastian Vettel of coming in and playing that role, because there have been a few of those rumors floating around as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's so many subplots within Red Bull that could possibly play out. What do you think Meckis will bring to Red Bull now that he's going to step into that role?
Stability? I think, look, I think they're after stability. They want a fresh change of direction. At this point, we don't know if Max is staying or going. Now, if he is going, it's clearly a fresh, whole new start. And I think they just want somebody in charge to come in and bring the personnel that they need. When you look at Meckis and what he's done over at Racing Bulls, I think, again, we're looking from the outside. We're not looking from the inside, of course. We're not a fly on the wall. But it seems like a happy team over there. So I think he will probably bring in a fresh change, perhaps a fresh culture, try and boost morale again. They're bringing him in not to turn Red Bull into champions within a year. I think it's going to be like a 2 to 3, 4 year outlook. And I think Meckis was the logical choice going forward. So there's one person that I think has a lot of pressure lifted off his shoulders and is potentially smiling today. You know who it is.
Yep. Has to be the young Yuki Tsunoda. I think, no, I think you're right. I think there's a lot of pressure lifted off his shoulders. We've only got a couple more rounds until the summer break. We kind of thought summer break would be when they would make an announcement that he would be replaced. So I think he's actually got himself till the end of the season now. I still think he's going to go. I still think that Red Bull as a company have made a decision that he's not the future of that team. Also, too, you've got the relationship with Meckis and Hadjar and Lawson, you know, and we did a video about the young fella Arvin Lindblad, and we kind of thought his natural progression should be into the Racing Bulls. And then we kind of thought, he would probably get promoted straight away in replace of Yuki after the summer break. So I think now Meckis come in, I don't think we're going to see any of that sort of chop and change and shifting around now. Not at least until the end of the season now.
No, you're right. Like Meckis isn't going to come in and make rash changes. So I don't think he's going to be that off the cuff and be like, Yuki haven't performed, see you later. I think he's going to sit back for the remainder of the season and just figure out what little things that he can do, change a few of the systems, processes, etc., bring in the key personnel. Yuki, on the other hand, obviously he's worked with Meckis closely for, the last season or two over at Racing Bulls. I think Meckis will support him and give him a lot of support until at least the end of the season. If you're Hadjar or Lawson, I think there's cause for optimism. Of course, we don't know what Marko is going to do and how he's going to be involved moving forward. Yeah, it definitely throws up a lot of questions regarding the drivers, particularly if Max has decided to walk away from the Red Bull camp.
There's definitely a lot to play out, and it's going to be super interesting come Spa. We're going to probably find out a lot more. The questions are going to be fielded at Meckey. The questions that are going to be to Helmut, and of course, poor old Max Verstappen's going to probably cup the brunt of it, being the being the face of the team.
But to be fair, I think Max is going to make an announcement sooner rather than later about his travels.
What's Christian going to do now? Christian finish with Formula One?
Nah, there's no way. Christian Horner, he loves F1. He's very good at what he does. Look, the results speak for themselves. And I don't think we've seen the last of him. We did make a video about a month ago with some of the rumors of Christian Horner going over to Ferrari, replacing Fred Vasseur. And at the time, we didn't release it because we kind of thought it was just too far. It was just a bit too far-fetched. But now it becomes a bit more of a reality. I give it a very small chance Christian Horner ends up at Ferrari.
Yeah.
A very small chance. I just don't know what his relationship is like with, say, John Elkann and, obviously the top brass of Ferrari.
Well, one thing we know for sure, there's a book coming.
He will have a book, 100%. He is definitely the type. He will.
The book's already written, man. He was just waiting to release it.
And it would be very interesting to read. It would be a very interesting read.
Yeah, it would be.
I think he has a lot of dirt that he could dish out on people too.
I mean, he's been in the business a long, long time.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not a Christian Horner fan. I mean, you know how I feel about Christian Horner when he comes up on the radio at the end of the race. It's like, really? Do you need to? It's like one of
Should I say it?
the,
What is it?
all up in them videos.
Oh,
It's like
yeah, mate, he loves it.
he loves the media. I mean, and he does a lot in the media, especially around weekend coverage. But you can't deny, man, like 124 race wins, 6 constructors titles, 14 championships, like
Exactly.
he brought Newey into Red Bull. So you
Well, he
can't,
built it.
yeah,
He built the team up, right?
yeah,
And particularly when a lot of people thought the whole operation was a bit of a joke when they
yeah,
entered. And like the results speak for themselves. So he can do that. He can bring that to another team. Yeah, like you said, he's been in the game a long, long time. He's got a lot to offer at Formula One, whether you like him or not.
yeah, yeah.
And that's the thing. Even if you don't like him,
Well,
I
you
always
can't
look at
deny
it.
the results, right? Like,
Yeah, but I also look at it from the point of that you got to have a villain. You got to have someone that you don't particularly like. It makes it interesting, right? So
yeah,
I'll never forget though when we did that Ferrari video about the potential move of Horner over that way. You said absolutely not as long as Lewis Hamilton's there. Do you still go by that? Or do you think, well, maybe Horner's now on the market officially and we know about Vasseurs a little bit sketchy over there, although I think they should really stick with Vasseur in all honesty.
yeah.
Do you
No,
do you change your thinking?
I agree. I think leave Vasseur alone. He's only been there like a season and a half or whatever it is. Like he's only just hasn't even finished moving all the pieces into place. But the speculation, of Vasseur, is he safe there? He's currently in talks with the top brass at Ferrari. But if you were Ferrari and Christian was available, it's the same. Like if you were Ferrari and Max was available, the results, man, speak for themselves. You come with a resume. You come with a shit ton of experience. You're probably stupid not to have. If you thought that it could benefit your team, you'd be stupid not to have a crack. I think you're right. We're going to hear something from Max in the next couple of weeks regarding his future. But we'd love to hear your thoughts. Let us know. Why do you think Christian was let go? What's Max's future look like? Until then, we'll catch you in the next one. Laters.
Catch up.